a little bit of impact. Let's make this very clear. I know that Collision's been running at the same time as Impact. I know people saying this is done because they want to screw with Tony Khan. Yes, I know. I have my thoughts on that, and I'm eventually going to make a video on that, particularly what's going on with Slammiversary and Forbidden Door. I'm not making one now because of one simple reason. I want to see how far things are going to go when, and you guys know what will happen, we're going to hear from the dirt sheets of how people are going to be having problems with both companies. I want to wait and see how that develops before Forbidden Door happens and before Slammiversary happens. I'm just going to wait. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not doing it now. But we do have Impact and we have Collision running side by side. And I just finished watching Impact, and I considered maybe I should watch Collision tomorrow, because by the time I see Impact, it's almost finished watching it and do the video. It's past 1 in the morning. So I could not see Collision. So in the morning, I might watch it. And I might do a review of it. I haven't decided yet. I'm sure some people want me to, but I haven't seen Collision in quite a while. And the way Collision used to be, and I know there's some people who love Collision, and may still be the same way no matter how much you like it or not, if it's only matches with almost no story, I don't care. I've been down that road with Collision before. If you guys remember, when JD stopped doing it, when Alex stopped doing it, I was still doing it. But I got tired of it because it was match after match after match. No character development for anybody, no storytelling for anybody, and no one was in charge of the show. Like when CM Punk was in charge, I wanted Eddie Kingston to be in charge. There was no Eddie Kingston. There was no one in charge. So it felt empty. Not even Adam Copeland was in charge of it, or Christian. It was just guideless. Someone who is the face of it and made it feel important. So for me, I just didn't care anymore. I may watch it, but if I don't feel interested in it, I won't do a review of it, just in case you guys wanted to know. I'm sorry this taking almost 3 minutes, but I had to say it. Now, let's make this clear. This doesn't need to be a long review. It doesn't. We got a lot of content. Yes, we did. If you think about Rebellion happened, and it was a good show. Wasn't bad. So they've added on to top of this. Do I believe they've done a great job of it? Well, you're about to find out. First match, Casey Navarro versus AJ Francis. Now, I was kind of hoping they would build up into this with AJ Francis and KC. That's what I thought would be the best thing, because they already done their arc with Rick Swann and AJ Francis. Now you would hope they would do it with KC, but it looks like they chose not to. They just wanted to blow them off. I know that didn't sound right, but that's the way it is. So they just wanted to get it over with because of what's going on with Nick Nimitz and AJ Francis. So they wanted to get it over with. Now, there was only one true outcome that needed to happen. That was KC winning. And it had to be some type of screwy ending to do it. Now, you're going to say, oh, that sounds predictable. Yes, it is. But under the circumstances, because you already have Nick Nimitz working with AJ Francis, you can't just throw Casey Navarro in there and just go away from both of them. They're in a feud. You don't want to do that. So what you want to do is just end it now with AJ Francis and KC. You can come back to it later. I'm not always fond of that, but you can. Counting if the story's right. If the story's right, you can go back to it. But only if it's right. So, what do we have here? We had the match. You got Nick Nimitz on commentary. Eventually, because AJ was doing this, he didn't pay attention, and he lost the match. And that was due to the fact of Nick kind of interjecting himself, taking off his shirt, going, yeah, come on. And that distracted him enough for Casey to win. And I think, and I'm not against Casey, I actually like Casey Navarro. But when you watch the match, Casey was sloppy, which is understandable. This is the first match back. He needs some time to really get back into the swing of things. He's not a bad wrestler. What he did was not bad work. It was a little sloppy, particularly doing the the missile drop, not missile drop kick, but the turnbuckle drop kick. It looked a little sloppy, but usually that type of drop kick, the Woo drop kick, I believe they called it, looks better with a smaller guy with another smaller guy. With a big guy, it doesn't always look right. John Woo drop kick. But here's the thing, and if you didn't notice, Casey was tanked. Now, Casey had good stamina. I know he did before he left. But this is his first match back. And even with all the training you have, you can't train for stamina like in a wrestling ring. You just can't. Not until you start doing it. And when it was over, look what happened. He got his arm raised. He fell down. He got helped back up. He got his arm raised. He fell down again. Casey looked tanked. Now, even if he wasn't tanked, he looked tanked. Now, they had this segment in the back where Ryan got jealous, thinking someone's trying to take away my big brother, and then the system came in. Now we got Bear Bronson interjecting himself. But the way it's looking, this is what I think. They may still do something with Nick and AJ Francis, at least a little bit. But then they're going to transition to KC and AJ Francis. The question is, are you going to give AJ Francis something to do as you're building up Casey Navarro, or are you just going to get it over with quickly? That is a big mistake that many promotions do. That a guy that Jimmy gets hurt, you make the story where the guy got hurt because of the other guy. He goes away, he comes back. You're going to do a feud, but he was in a feud with somebody else. And there's a good chance they may still do the feud, but they need to do also this feud. So it's going to be a transition of seeing how long you're going to keep one with the other before you go this way with the other. The question is going to be how long. Next, you got it. I want to make this clear. Jada Stone versus Tasha Steelz. I didn't like the match. Nope. I don't want to explain why. Tasha did a good job. She had a botch, maybe two. It happens in any type of match. But I think she only had maybe one botch and was brief. Then you look at Jada Stone. Guys, the spark is sloppy. I know people would say, dude, you haven't seen her work on the indies. I don't care about her work on the indies. If she can't get it done on the main show of TNA, what does it matter about her doing it in the indies? Some of her work that she did with Tasha is sloppy. Some of it looks telegraphed. Others look like she wasn't even landing correctly on her. When she did her split-legged moonsault, where do you think she landed? She didn't land with her knees hitting the mat. No, she landed her knees almost literally on Tasha's abdomen. Guys, you need to understand, when they do these backflips onto someone, do the prettiest moonsault ever, or if they do the one I liked is the Red Arrow, when, of course, Neville was doing it, but now it's the Black Arrow with Pac, or a shooting star press. It is understood that you have the abdomens land on each other and you do not let your knees land on the person because you can blow out their ribs. She had multiple times trying to flip back on Tasha Steelz, and either she landed flush on her abdomen or her legs, or she landed, it didn't even hit, and next to that, she was sloppy. Look, I'm not against her, but I'm going to evaluate it for what it is. She's sloppy, and she needs a little bit more work. Can she get better? Of course she can. Anyone can get better with a little bit of work. But as it stands, all she's done is gone in the ring. And if anybody tells me, dude, you don't know how great she is, that's bullshit. Bullshit. I don't care if she was incredible on the indies in 1, 2, 5, or 10 matches. She's an Impact. If she can't get the same moves done here like she did in the indies, what does that mean? Nothing. Nothing. If she was a great talker on the indies, but then she can't get it done in Impact, she's not a great talker. If she can't get the ring work done in this ring when she was doing on the indies perfectly, she's messing up. I don't care what you say. As I've told everyone on this channel for years, whatever you did in any promotion, WWE, AEW, NWA, GCW, Raw, I don't care which promotion you're in. Whatever you did there, I don't care. I can recognize it if I watched it, but it counts on what you do in the ring, in the new promotion you're in, and the new promotion writes for you correctly. I don't care. If TNA Creative can't write for her, they screwed up. And if Jada can't get the work done correctly in the ring and she's botching a lot and making it look very telegraphed, or she looked like she almost or did hurt Tasha, she's being sloppy. Of course, let me give it to you like this. Do I believe that she needed to win? No. She didn't need to win. She didn't need to win. Because as it stands, she needs more time to develop as a character. She had time with Trey, but that didn't last very long. And I believe she should have stayed with Trey. She needs to work with Trey. Unless he's in... Oh, yeah, that's right. Trey is injured. At this time, Trey is possibly injured. I haven't checked to see if there's anything new news yet, but he looks like he might be injured. So now, he might be out. And she did need to work with Trey. But now that he's injured, where does she go now? She could work with somebody else like Leon Slater. She could work with Moose. She needs to work with somebody. Not only to work with in the ring, but to develop her character because she has none. She's just a high-fly wrestler that has no character. And she needs it badly. You can't expect your ring work to get you over 100% because it never will. Moving on. EC3 versus Eric Young, which was the match. EC3 up the ramp gets attacked. They start their match. The ref gets nailed due to the fact that EC3 got thumbed to the eye by Eric Young. And then they do a no contest. A no contest. Interesting. I'm not saying that's the right choice or the wrong choice. They decided they didn't want to end their feud there. They didn't want Eric Young to just cheat to win. And they didn't want EC3 to just win. So doing a no contest. I don't know what's the right thing to do there. A no contest means that since the ref was nailed, they could not complete the match. But you just had two refs come down to check one ref. And instead of letting the match continue, you didn't want to do it. So what does this really mean? They're going to keep doing the feud, but what are they going to do to make the feud interesting? Yes, they got history. EC3 9 years ago was working for TNA. But the question's going to be, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not sure if it's going to be good or not, so it's a question. The final match, the System versus Moose, well, the whole System versus Moose and Leon Slater. I didn't expect them to win. And this was more about trying to get Cedric another shot at the X Division title. Because Cedric got the pin on Leon, even though they did cheat a lot. It was 4-2, there was no backup, that was it. Do I believe that was the wisest thing to do? At this point, yeah, because there's no real... Well, let's see it like this. Cedric Alexander is the closest person they got to going up against Leon Slater. Since Trey Miguel is a question, we don't know if he's going to recover or not immediately. He may actually be hurt and he's out because I haven't checked. But right now, who else do they have that's a heel? Unless you turn Trey heel, you would just have a one-off match between him and Leon Slater for the X Division title. But now you don't even have that, so you have to revisit it. I'm not going to tell you that was bad, but the thing I did like was everybody was a bitch. Eddie was a bitch, Myers and Bronson, and Cedric was a bitch, and the biggest bitch was Alicia Edwards. I'll give you like that. At least it was okay. Now, let's get to the stuff in the back. Let me give you like this. Elijah wanting a match against Kaz and Daria Ray refusing. He made it very clear, okay, you're not going to give me the match? I see how it is. So that might mean that Elijah's going to cause trouble for Daria Ray since she suspended Santino. And I know Santino is actually out because he wouldn't get surgery for sleep apnea. Good. I'm glad he's got something that'll make him feel better. But now what do? I don't know what happened with Indy. Maybe she might have an issue with something. I don't know. But Indy's out right now until they bring her back. And Santino's out because of the surgery. Question is, where do you go from this? Order 4. We're now going to have an open challenge. Raw, SmackDown, anyone? We're now getting a Raw and SmackDown type of situation where now they're going to do an open challenge because they don't have anybody for a Mustafa Ali. So now they're going to give him an open challenge to do. Now, I'll say this. It's not often we get open challenges in TNA. We do get them, but not as often as in WWE or AEW. They don't do them often. So at least I will say it's not something like every day. But I will get pissed off if we do it every episode. I will get pissed. Because that's really not doing anything with Mustafa Ali. Instead of building him up, getting him a credible challenger, where's all the wrestlers? I'm just saying. Let me give it to you like this. Ling Yang Lee, upset about what Xia did to her. How her life began not knowing what she was going to learn in America because she came almost 10 years ago, like 8 or 9 years ago, and didn't know what she was going to get when she went to the Performance Center because they did hire her went to China, found her, and brought her into America. She didn't know what was going to happen until she went to TNA and met Xia. Now, Xia betrayed her, and she doesn't understand why, and to be honest, neither do I. Yes, I know it's the birthright. Yes, I know. But they need to explain why. Yeah, Gia walked up to her and said, why did you do that to your best friend? She looked at Gia and walked away. They need more. I'm sorry. I know it's about the birthright, but they got to make it look good to go into the birthright. You can't just do it because you think everyone will figure it out. You got to make it mean something. Why did you just let them break up as partners unless you really had no idea what to do with Xia or Ling Yang Lee? And that's bad to see. So what they needed was to have some type of build-up where you didn't see Ling Yang Lee with Xia, and Xia, she started talking to Stax. Where is that? I didn't see it, and they needed it. Unless they did it on YouTube, which was the worst thing you could have done because you needed it on the show. Moving on. Let's get to the final thing. Allie's back. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to go blow below what you saw on that segment. Now, everyone likes segments like that and the Undead Realm, but I felt that it was at least closure for many of the storylines they did in the Undead Realm. Joseph Park showed up. Then we get this woman with a scarab on her chest. I think I got a picture of her. She's in my face. And I'm like, who is she? Is she going to be a wrestler, or is she just a little fun? A little bit of fun for Father Mitchell. I think she was a little fun for Father Mitchell because that's a fine-looking woman, but she got a scarab on her chest. So the question is she going to wrestle, or was that just for Father Mitchell? And yes, we saw Tessa, we saw everyone else, and the bunny getting angry because Tessa attacked a Rosemary with a chain around her neck. And Rosemary managing to grab some of the hair of Tessa. And then Bunny appearing on Impact after Tessa, Mara, and Victoria appear. And then once you see Mara J and Rosemary getting ass kicked, Bunny's back. Supposedly because she got angry and every debt had been paid, she was finally allowed to return to Impact Wrestling. Well, Impact. Let me give it to you like this. Was it done correctly? Nearing the end, it was fine, but then we didn't see her transform back to a living being. I kind of wish we had seen her go through the vortex. I believe I got the vortexes in my face, the red vortex. I kind of wished we got her going through the vortex. Now, you could say the one with the scarab was Allie. You could say that was her. Of course, it wasn't her, but still, that could be the reason that she became alive again. I kind of wish they just let her walk through the vortex and then become alive again. That's what I was kind of hoping for. But Allie is back now. A staple of TNA. Now the question is going to be, can they book her? This is the biggest question. Now you have Allie no longer in the undead realm. What type of booking are you going to give Allie? What is it going to be? That's going to be the big question. I don't know what it is. That is the biggest question we have right now. You just went through weeks upon weeks of these, not vignettes, but these little stories of to be continued for the undead realm. You bring Allie back now. You better have something written for her. She's got to be written for. If you don't, and you just brought her back to bring her back, that would have been the biggest waste of time. They got to do something with her. If she's going to be world champion, make her world champion. If she's going to be a tag champion, make her a tag champion. She's got to be something. But this is just me, and I hope you enjoyed this Impact. Please give me a comment below. I don't know if I'm going to do Collision. I'm probably going to watch it, but I don't know if I'm going to review it. If it's no better than it was the last time I saw it, where it's just match, 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 very little story, match, 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 no character development for the women, no character development for the men, match, match, I'm done. Peace.